Whether you're just starting out your YouTube journey or you're a seasoned content creator, then I've got the ultimate research tool for you. And what's best about it is it's completely free to set up. So if you want to recreate this search function inside of YouTube, we can do it all with no code and create a really powerful automation tool using a free account inside of make.com. You're allowed up to 1,000 operations per month, and you can also capture all of the data into a free version of Airtable, so completely free per month, up to 1,000 records per base. And the automation will look something like this inside of a no-code platform called make.com. So you can see here we've got Airtable module. We make a request to YouTube API, use a third party called Apify, and then get all the statistics again from the YouTube API, filling everything in. And the end product will look something like this. So you've got you've got the thumbnail, the URL for the video, title, who the author is, description, how many views, comments, and publication dates. So it's a really powerful tool for any sort of content creator, whether you're new or, like I say, seasoned. So if you want to find out how we do this build, then stick around and let's make it no code. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how the automation works. So inside of Airtable, we've got this section at the top here called Forms, and if I click Done, I can interact with the form. So I'm going to search for, let's say I'm interested in doing a video on AI animation. Stick around, by the way, this is a build that's coming up from us in the future. I want to say research on the most recent 45 videos, and I'm going to search back 90 days in the past. So if I click Submit, let me just switch on my automation. So if I click Run once, the automation is switched on, now waiting for a response from our Airtable form. If I click Submit, we'll go back over to our make.com scenario, and hopefully we'll see the information come through. There we are, it's coming through. So we've made a call to the YouTube API, and we're now getting a third-party tool called Apify to crunch some data for us. Now we've retrieved all the data, and you can see here it's updating our form 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go back to our Airtable, and we're going to view data, and we should see new information flying in there. So I'll scroll down. We're at 99. So as long as there's no errors inside of the automation, we should get more and more information. So I do actually have a filter on at the moment, which is filtering by the number of likes. So you can see I've made some previous searches. So if I click refresh now, scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see more than 99 entries in here, and we can actually find, hopefully we've got some hot information, and we can do some competitor analysis, find out what sort of content we should be making. There we are, you can see I've got more than 99 in there now. So let's scroll to the very top. These are probably the more hot takes. These are the ones that are more in our niche. So this has got 50 million views, and we have, let me see, 270,000, 2.7 million likes. So this is maybe something we need to look into recreating. So let's get into the build, and I can show you exactly how all of this works, and again how it can be built for free using Airtable and make.com freemium accounts. So all you need to do is sign up. I'll have a link in the description below of where you can sign up for both of these tools, both these products. So we start off in Airtable, and we'll create a simple base like this, and this will bring in all of our search results from the make.com scenario that we're going to build out shortly. So what we want to do is we want to collect a URL, video URL, so that's the unique video identifier inside of YouTube. If I can just show you, perhaps if we click on this video here, I'm not going to press play, but you'll see here that this is the URL. So we have a video ID that comes after a question mark V equals, and then the video ID. So we'll capture that into our Airtable form, into our Airtable base, then we're going to get a thumbnail, which this sort of file is a attachment, so that we can actually just put in a URL and it will download the link and install it into our Airtable. We're going to find out who the author is, just because that's always useful when it comes to doing research, so you know who is the original creator of the content. We're going to take the title, so these are just text fields, and then these are numeric here. So we've got number of views, number of likes, number of comments, And then this end one here is publication, and that will be a date format. So what I've done is I've changed the date to friendly so that I can tell what date it is, because I don't use the American format. And unfortunately, inside of Airtable, you can't change to European format. So very simple. We also have another base, which will be our form results. So if you've seen, I've run one previously on this. This is a new instance of Airtable. We have animation build, number results 25, and the look back of 90 days. And then we will build one more thing inside of the Airtable base. So we will just build out a form. So you go to Forms, and you can create new. And if you just click on here, you can say from results. So yeah, that's the way we will propagate. And then if I go on to create, we can all of the things are there. You can give it a bit more design if you like. We can publish this form. So now we're good to go. If we return to view data. Now, whenever a form is submitted and a field is created here, everything gets sent over to make.com. So we've got to set that up at the other end. So let's go to a fresh instance of Airtable and start building this out. So we'll create new. And while this is loading up, I'll just let you know that if you want to get hold of this automation, then you can join our Make It No Code School community, where we will have all of the assets available to download. So you'll be able to copy our Airtable base, which was just all of this information here. So everything is built out for you. What I will do is I'm going to share this publicly, or copy the link, generate a new preview. We're going to open it up, and we will have a link for this inside of the school community, where you can simply just click up here and copy base. Not only that, we're going to, if I return to make.com, you will be able to import by clicking on these three dots and import the blueprints for the build itself. So you can see here I've got loads from my previous builds. But yeah, let's build it out for now. So yeah, consider joining the school community, and then you don't have to do any of the work. All you have to do is click upload and copy base, and you're away. This is the sort of service that you can offer to clients, even so you could offer as a social media manager. You don't need to, if you don't have a use for it yourself, maybe it's something you can offer as a service to a content creator. So hopefully a good build for you. So let's go and start building this out. So what we need is a Airtable, and we're going to watch for responses. What we're going to do is create a new hook, and we're going to say YouTube Research Assistant. And now we have a URL that we can copy. This is what we call a webhook. We're going to copy that. We're going to head back over to Airtable, and we're going to set up a automation for you. So if we go in here, we're going to go into automations, and what we will do is we'll build a new one out. So we're going to create an automation, and our trigger condition will be when a form is submitted. Let's select the form. So it'll be from results, and the form, I'll use the one that we built previously. So when a form is submitted, then this automation will kick in, and then we need to choose an action for the automation. So let's now click on here, and what we're going to do is run script. So we want to, let me just paste in that there. Okay, we'll finish testing, and then I'm going to copy this from the previous build. So what we want to do is copy this code and simply replace the webhook. So close this down, open up, and we're going to edit the code again. Let's select this here. Okay, and we need to declare some variables. So we're going to declare results, we're going to declare number of days, and the API key. So let me just take this number here, copy, and we're going to paste this here. Okay, we can delete this. Now we just need to declare some variables. So if we just check up here, we've got record ID. Let's declare that record ID. So if you want to know what this means, this is when the condition is met, we will take the record ID from that particular field that's triggered it. So we've got record ID. Just need to make that lowercase, the d. And then we've also got search. So we'll put in search, that's the search field. And we'll match that to search term. We're also going to pass through the results. So if we type in results, so that's the number of results that we want to collect, and we're also going to pass through days, so number of days to look back, and that will be from here, look back. Okay, and then finally we want to pass through our API from here. So I'll blur this out, and that will come from my previous build. So finish editing and just copy from here. Okay, I've edited that out. Right. Okay, and then we're finally going to pass that through to here. So let me just open this up, double check everything is correct. Okay, what we can do is now test to see if the information is there. So let's click OK. Let's run this once, and let's see if we can get the information from our Airtable to make.com. So I'm going to click test, wait and see. Any issues? I don't think. Let me check. Okay, it seems to have worked. So let's go over to make.com, see whether it's come through, see if we've got the result. So there's been a small error. I don't know if anyone spotted that whilst they were watching. So we'll run it again, and everything seems to be correct this time. Record API. Does this need to be uppercase? Right, so, and then we can test again. So I'm just going to run it one more time, see if it passes through the API. Okay, and this time we've retrieved our API. So next we're going to make an API call to, or a HTTP request to the YouTube API. So if I go to YouTube now, I'm going to show you that there is no search module. So most people would think, oh, well, if there's no search module, then we can't do it. But it's possible, and what we need to do is add a HTTP request. And we're going to make just a normal request here. And we're going to go over to, so bear with me, we're going to go over to the console.cloud.google.com. So to get your YouTube data API, you need to head over to console.cloud.google.com, and what you can do is you can create yourself a new project. And what I'm going to do is just I'll just leave it with its normal naming convention. It will start building out the project for you. Once it's ready, you can select. It's not quite there yet, you'll see once it's ready. So there we are, my project. We're going to work inside of here. We'll create ourselves an API key. So I don't mind showing this on this particular build because I'm going to delete it afterwards. But for you guys, you want to protect your API key from foreign agents because they can run away and steal all your credits. So what we're going to do now is go to API and services. We'll click on enabled APIs, and what we can do is scroll down. You can see here there's no YouTube. So we'll go to the library. And what we're going to do is type in YouTube. YouTube, not YouTube. YouTube. Data API. Click on it, and we will enable it. So now we have access to the API inside of our Google Console. So now we can just create ourselves an API key. This isn't an OAuth 2, this is just an API key. So it's got limited access. You can't do many things like search for transcription, so subtitles, but what we can do is enough for this build. So what we'll do is create some credentials. We're going to create an API key, and we'll allow it access to the YouTube API. So while this propagates, we'll copy this, and what we want to do is just open it up and restrict it to certain APIs, and we only want to use it on the YouTube API. So we'll click OK. Now we can head over back to our Airtable. So let's go here, let's scroll down, let's replace this one, put in here, OK, click OK, finish. Let's head back to our other tab, and what we can do now is we can head over to, if we go back to the main page, and if we type in YouTube, we can start, we can test the API key that we've got. So let's go and manage. Sorry. Let's go to the documentation. Try this out, API. So we're able to use the testing ground. So what we want to do is recreate the search. So if you go down on the left field here, we've got the overview, which will explain everything. But here we're going to get our API call. So I know my way around here. I've obviously done a test build. So what we're going to do is make a HTTP request to this particular module. And what we can do is test it. So let's just scroll down. Mandatory, we need to pass through the part, and it's called snippet. So that would be snippet, goes in here. And then we also want to search for the queue, which is basically the search parameters. And we're also going to restrict the search to type video. So if I click up here, we can test the API with snippet as the part. We're going to scroll down to queue, and we're going to say make it no code. Make it no code. And then we're going to restrict the type to video, because we don't want to get playlists, we don't want to get different types. We're only interested in videos so that we can get the thumbnails and the view count and everything. So and you can see that it's added everything here. So if I select from there all the way back to the HTTPS, copy this, we're going to go into make.com, and what we will do is we'll paste this into here, and we're then going to append our API key to the very end. So let's click OK. Let's run this. Let's go to here. Let's open up the form. Sorry, let's switch the automation. So the automation is on. Let's go to the form. Click here, click done, so we can actually work with it. We're going to type in make it no code. No code. Number of results, we'll just do one. Look back, we'll go back 90 days, click submit. Let's go to make, and we should see everything come through. So you can see here, make it no code, results 1, 90 days, pass the API key through, and it's made a call. We've got the results, and there we are, we have the data, and then it's brought back a load of results for us, which is great. So next, what we want to do is connect to a program called Apify. So it's a third-party tool. If I click here, type in Apify, you'll see it here. I'm going to head over to the interface shortly and show you. I'm going to run an actor. So I've already made the credentials here, and you can select from your actors that you have in your interface. So let's go over to Apify so you can have a look at those. And what I have here is all of the actors that I've used previously. So I have this one here, and we can search directly for URLs, we can scrape subtitles, and we can get all sorts of information. So what I would do is, if you haven't made an account with this before, it's completely free to open one up. You can see I'm on a free platform here, and I have $5 of credit every month. It will be renewed in the next 8 days, and I'll get another $5. So more than enough for a small channel, but if you're doing this on a commercial scale, then perhaps you would want to look into paying for it. There's information on how much it will cost to run. So yeah, create yourself an account, go to the actors, and what you can do is go to store, and you can type. I mean, this is a brilliant tool. There's scrapers for Instagram. There's also Twitter, I believe, now known as X. So you've got all of these, but we just want a YouTube scraper. So if you want, you can click on the YouTube scraper. If you want to do a search term, you can search for, let's say, make it no code. Sorry, make it no code. Number of results, we'll just go for 1. And if we click save and start, just so you can see what the results look like in here, back to make.com. I'm going to select the actor. We will go to streamers/YouTube search, and our input JSON will be, if I press Control Shift and V, we keep the function, and we can change this here to the search criteria. So this was search for. Okay, everything else looks good there. So that will collect, basically this will trigger the automation to do this. And then what we can do is go back to here. Once the app has run, what we want to do is add another Apify module to get the data set. So the results from this, when scraped, will come from here. And if I type in the data set ID, click OK. Just remembered, very important that we do pass JSON. We need to pass the response from there. Okay, very good. Everything's looking good here. Now, let me just see. There's one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to save this, click auto align, and this will give us a response of like many data sets. So what we need to do is add an iterator. So if I start typing iterator, and what we're going to do is iterate through, we're going to iterate through data items. So we'll see here we have, okay. So I've made a slight mistake. So just doing a quick bit of error checking. What we want to do is not pass that through there, the search terms, but what we're going to do is pass through the video ID from our previous module. So items, and it's video ID. So we'll click OK there. So I need to run this again one more time. Okay, so I've made a small error, and what I forgot to do was click on run synchronously. So I'm going to click run one more time, click run anyway, and we will go back. We're going to test the automation, start new test, saves me filling in the form, scroll down, click run automation, go back to make.com, and now it will wait. So it won't pass on the information until it's actually finished the execution. That way it can download. And now you'll see there is actually a bundle here. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate. So down here we have data. So this is a bundle, and what we want to do is go through data items and select the array here. So it's important, if you see the 2 square brackets, this is what we're going to iterate through. Click OK. And then next what we'll do is get the statistics. So we will make another request to the YouTube API. We're going to make a request. The URL is going to be slightly different this time, and I'm going to take the liberty of taking this from my previous build and copy paste. So number 6 is video ID. Just want to make sure that we've got everything correct. Is there a 6 video ID? No, there isn't a 6 video ID. That comes from the iterator, so just delete that, and then the video ID comes from here. Now everything is happy. So get request, everything looks good. Final thing to do then is create records. So create a record inside our Airtable. I'm going to select all of our bases. I'm going to select the automating YouTube research. We're going to go to the table called scrape, and we're going to, let's see how this is going to be built out. So what we will do is we will append or concatenate the video ID along with this preset here. So if you remember earlier in the build I showed you when you click on a video up here that you get youtube.com/watch equals v equals, and then what we can do is, tragically we need to run this again one more time. Schoolboy error, pass. We must pass the data. Need to run this again one more time. So I'm going to go back to testing, go back to automations, select record, we're going to run that, run the automation. So debugging can be a bit of a pain, but it's necessary. Sorry, I didn't want to make that an ASMR video. So now what I can do is hopefully I've got information from the iterator, no, from the HTTP request. So everything's been passed already. I could have put it through a pass module, but there's no point in adding additional modules to a build to make it more complicated. So I can pass through the video ID after the appended v equals. I can, this is what I love about Airtable, you can add an attachment. So we have, from the snippets here, we have the thumbnails. So I can get the high resolution thumbnail. I'm not going to name it because just in case there's some sort of backslash in the naming, then it will cause the automation to error. I don't care what the file name's called, as long as I can see it. The author would come from the name of the channel. So what we'll do is we'll take that from here. And we have snippets, and the channel ID is here. The title of the video we can get from here. We can get from both places basically. Title of the video is, let's just type in title and see what we come up with. There we are. We have 2 titles. So let's get it from the iterator. Now we have the description. Description can come from either. Description. So we've got the video description. Number of views, that comes from the HTTP request. So we'll just get rid of this. And we will go to data, items, statistics. So we're going to get view count, we'll get the like count, we'll get the number of comments. I'm not going to bother with favorites because not many videos gets favorited. And then we also need to get the date. So I think that comes from, let's have a look. Let's type in date or publication. Published. Okay. So if I just click down here, click on published. And that is everything. So I'm going to click OK and hit save. I'm going to rename it as well actually. So YouTube Research Assistant. Save that. I'm also going to export it, and I will put this into our school platform for you to be able to download. I'll rename it, and I'll also give you the base so that you can use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to click save, click run once, and we're going to go back to our automation, back to Airtable. We're going to go to our form, and what we're going to do is fill in the form so to be able to interact with it. If I type in animation, number of results, let's go for 10, look back period 90 days, click submit. Let's go to the make.com scenario. Everything is running. It's synchronously running, so it's waiting to send the ping to the next module. And now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have, if we go to our data, let's go to edit, and let's go to data. You'll see all of this information here. So we've got video, titles, and thumbnails. We've got number of views, number of likes, number of comments, publication dates. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this build. Hopefully you've found some value from it. Please leave me a like, a comment, something that let us know you're interested. I've been doing a lot of YouTube builds recently, but we have some other things in the pipeline. As I mentioned, AI animation. So I've built this fantastic automation tool for creating faceless shorts. So yeah, we'll be releasing that in the future. But yeah, if you want to get hold of the base, simply join our school community. I'll head over to the channel now. We are on school.com, make it no code. And I'll show you our classroom. So yeah, inside the classroom we have many builds already, and we are building out more and more as we go. So please consider subscribing to get hold of the builds. All you need to do is go into the classroom where you'll find everything you need, the resources, then we've got the blueprints and the JSON folders that you need to get your builds going. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next build.